SportsMe, what's going on? It's time again for the Daily Cash Game. Week 9 wraps up after some Monday Night Football tonight. But that being the case, want to know who is your NFL MVP frontrunner halfway through the season? Hit us up, let us know. Who do you got winning the NFL MVP for the 2021 season?
Super Davis here. This is an easy one. Tom Brady. He leads the league in passing yards and touchdowns. 44 years old. It's Tom Brady. TB12, the GOAT.
I mean, it's Lamar fucking Jackson. Come on. I mean, this guy's throwing at a clip that Josh Allen was throwing at last year. He has 3 double-digit comeback wins this year.
He's aging like fine wine, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Brady for me. I mean, fuck. What he's doing at his age, QB1 in fantasy, he's unreal.
Give all of my points to Smokey because he is exactly correct as Lamar Jackson.
My front runner is Matthew Stafford. The first 9 games, over 2,700 passing yards. He has a 23-6 touchdown to INT ratio and a QB rating of 111, which is really good.
So I am 100% on board with Smokey and Joey right here. And it's Lamar Jackson. It's not even close at this point.
Lamar Jackson got almost as many turnovers as he's got touchdowns. You guys say he got double-digit comebacks? It's because he's played so bad in the beginning of the games with turnovers to put his team behind.
I got to go with Justin Tucker. I mean, no one is better at their position than Justin Tucker is at his. Nobody's more automatic, delivers more, is more clutch, and is more valuable to team success than Justin Tucker is.
My MVP choice would be Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers will have the best numbers. It won't be him because of the COVID vaccine thing.
My MVP choice is Kyler Murray. He's the quarterback on the best team in the NFL record-wise, had them as the last undefeated team in the NFL, and it's almost solely due to his progression as a quarterback.
Tom Brady, by far and above. It's got to be Tom Brady.
Welcome to Daily Cash Games. Who, throughout the 2021 season, given all the injuries, you can take a fantasy football approach if you want to, who has been the most impressive backup at any position for you this season?
I'm going to say Jacoby Brissett, backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, who took over for Tua.
Everyone shits on the Eagles. They got by far the best backup quarterbacks in the league. They have Jalen Hurts and Gardner Minshew.
I've been waiting all year to say this, but it's Justin Fields.
Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts are starters now for their respective teams, so I don't know why they're being thrown around in this thread. For me, it's got to be Mike White, as a Jets fan, having one of the best games in history of a backup quarterback, just thrown in, undrafted. Hopefully he'll get the start this weekend.
So we always go with a quarterback in this. I'm going to go with something different. I'm going to go with Dearness Johnson, the running back for the Browns. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. He gets some little backup carries, does all right. He gets his time to shine, 20 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, I think, a couple catches. The next week, he still gets in the mix, gets another touchdown.
This one might be controversial, but Cordell Patterson.
SportsMe. Today's Daily Cash Game centered around what happened between Jokic and Morris. Some saying that Morris gave a cheap shot on that. Jokic then retaliated. The NBA has since suspended Jokic and fined Morris. Was Jokic justified in retaliation, and did the NBA get this punishment right?
I think it's important to acknowledge that the game has changed, right? We don't have Kurt Rambis tackling Larry Bird anymore, and for good and bad reason, right? The game might be more soft to some folks, but it's a little bit different. Fining one player for an altercation that both were at fault for, and suspending another, and not giving the equal type of punishment out, I think is a little bit silly.
Not just fined equally. This is fucking stupid by the NBA. One of the worst decisions I've ever seen. Shaq and Barkley on TNT, the whole TNT group, they all acknowledged the reason that Morris's foul doesn't look as bad is because the Joker is fucking huge.
I think Nikola Jokic should not be suspended or in any trouble for anything that he did because he was completely justified for the actions of Morris because that was a total cheap shot.
No one's saying that he's not guilty, but Morris is just as guilty, if not more guilty, for initiating all the bullshit that happened.
Morris has been that way his whole career. Him and his twin brother have been the guys that really get under the other team's skin. And it was a hard foul. It wasn't anything egregious, but Jokic went hella soft, turns around and shoves him with a forearm shiver to the back. You hit anybody in the back and it's not justified. That was bull.
I mean, Joker should definitely be suspended. He definitely shoved him from behind when Morris wasn't looking.
Maybe I see it a little bit differently, but I feel like the notion of a suspension should be based off of like the intention of physical harm beyond the actual incident.
SportsMe, what's going on? It's your boy Rumboys Robbie back with another daily cash game. Now, what I want to know is, with 11 games so far into the NBA season, what or who is the biggest surprise performance for you, and will that performance continue?
My biggest surprise has been Wes Unseld as a coach. You know, oftentimes celebrated NBA stars aren't necessarily the best coaches, but Wes Unseld and the Wizards, man, that's been a super surprise.
The big surprise for me would be the Golden State Warriors being 10-1, leading the Western Conference and the NBA with the best record.
So I do agree with the other two that the Warriors and the Golden State Warriors are two of the bigger surprises. But I'm going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers, 8-4. They've been without Tobias Harris for quite some time now. Obviously, no Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid's out on COVID protocol as well. Half these games, they only have like 8 players available. And like some of those guys include like Paul Reed.
I got to say, the Golden State Warriors here, NorCal, represent 10-1 this season. They're getting healthier by the day. They don't even have their big guy yet, Wiseman, back. Once they get him back with all these other guys that are playing out of their minds right now, this is a championship caliber Golden State Warriors team.
Carmelo Anthony. He is shooting a blistering 52% from 3. I think he shot 80 shots, and 12 games in, that's 15% of the season, so that's a nice sample size, a nice chunk.
Today's topic for the Daily Cash Game, we're talking the greatest individual record in sports history.
In the monkey's opinion, there's only one correct answer, and that is Cal Ripken's Iron Man record. That will never be broken. Ever. Ever. And I don't care what people say, how one time they said the electric went out when he had a sore foot or some shit, or I don't care. I don't care about none of the conspiracy theories about it.
Super Davis here. I was going to go with Cal Ripken, but I'm going to go with Pete Rose. Number of hits, 4,256 hits. Only him and Ty Cobb have more than 4,000 hits.
All right, I guess the Canadian has to come in with the fucking hockey fact. It's got to be one of Wayne Gretzky's records. I mean, his points record. He would still have the points record if he didn't score a single goal in his career.
Okay, as a basketball fan, I have to go with Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points in a game. The closest we've seen anyone come to it since was Kobe Bryant with 81 points.
Those are some good reasons, for sure. But it's Michael Phelps, because other athletes don't have the ability to actually participate in the amount of events that he has.
I'm probably going to disqualify myself here because this might not count, but I'm interpreting the question as like the single greatest athletic achievement in the history of mankind, and I would absolutely put Alex Honnold's free solo of El Capitan up there. That is far and away the pinnacle of anything that anyone has ever achieved, and most likely won't ever be repeated unless it's by Alex himself.